Welcome to this painting tutorial. In this video we're going to look at how to paint an Eldar Striking Scorpion Aspect Warrior. This miniature was easy to paint and very straightforward. Once you finish the body armor, the rest of the miniature is just details and the paint job goes by very quickly. I used Liquitex drying retarder to help me thin down all of the colors on this tutorial, and it makes it so much easier to work with, especially with the brighter colors. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'm going to start by priming the model with Rust-Oleum Automotive Grey Primer. You can use any primer that you like. This is not made for miniatures, so use it very lightly. I'm going to start by base coating the whole model with Warpstone Glow. And this is a very easy step. I thin down the paint a little bit with the Liquitex drying retarder, and I'm using a Army Painter Monster brush. If the first coat doesn't cover too well, feel free to give it a second one, but wait till the first one is completely dry to apply a second one. And don't worry if you cover things that are not supposed to be green. It doesn't matter because you're going to paint over them in the following steps. Next, I'm going to use Vallejo Model color black. You can use Averland black, but I like this color, so I watered down this color as well with the Liquitex drying retarder, and I'm starting applying it on the places that I want to be black, which is the hair, the weapon, some of the details here and there, the mask, and just try to apply a solid coat over all of the details that are going to be black, and also the silvers. Next, I'm going to use Dryad Bark. This color is going to be used on all of the leather areas, which is the straps, and I see the model has like a bag on the hip there. So it's not very much details like this, but the grip on the sword as well can be leather if you want. And next, I'm using Averland Sunset. This color is going to be used on all of the yellow details. On the hair, we're trying to give a solid base coat, so we need at least 2 or 3 coats. And on the other details, I'm just kind of overbrushing to get just the details that are popping out that are supposed to be yellow. This is not very difficult at all. Just use the side of the brush and let the contours of these details guide your brush. Next, I'm going to use Baltasar Gold, and this is going to go on all of the gold areas, of course, which is the runes and the little pieces on the weapons, like little pieces of, I don't know, Eldar technology. And as well as with the yellow parts, you can use the side of the brush to just pick up the places that are popping out on the runes and just try to cover them all and not to get into the other colors. Next, I'm going to use Mephiston Red, and with this color I'm going to paint all of the soul stones or gems around the model. And as you can see, I'm using a detail brush on all of these steps. I think I used a number 2 brush on the yellows, but you can use a detail brush for all of the colors that I'm using on top of the green. Next, Leadbelcher is just going to be used on the blade, and if you have other details that you want to be silver, you can use it, but this is an X-Arc and it doesn't have many details that are silver, so that's it. Now that we've finished all of the base coats, I'm going to use Biel-tan green, and with this color I'm going to shade in most of the miniature. I'm just going to leave the silver and the yellow on the back of the hair on the original colors, and they are going to be washed with Agrax Earthshade instead. But the rest of the model pretty much is going to be shaded with Biel-tan green. Here I'm using Agrax Earthshade to shade in the blade and the hair, just because I don't want green shadow on the metallics or on the hair. So I'm going to proceed, once the washes are dry, with Warpstone Glow. As color, I'm going to start bringing back the original color of the armor and leave the darker green on the recesses. I'm using a size 2 brush. You could use a base coat brush or a standard brush if you're having difficulty, and just try to hit all of the places that are not the recesses over the armor. And if something is very hidden, like in between yellow lines, don't worry about it. The darker green is going to look very good as a shade color on them. Next, I'm using Skarsnik green. This color is going to be used on all of the edges of the armor, and you don't really have to do all the edge highlighting that I do, but if you want your greens to really pop out, you can do this. And here I'm using a fine detail brush and Liquitex drying retarder to help me out with the edge highlighting, and it's not very difficult once you get the hang of it. But I'm using a pale green instead of a very bright green like mood green, but you can change it up like that. You can use mood green if you would like a little bit more striking glowy green if you like. Next, I'm using Skarsnik green again, and this color is 50-50 mix with White Scar and Skarsnik green, and this is used as a finer edge highlight, or just edge highlighted on the places that are more sharp and more exposed to light. When you edge highlight, try to clean your brush very often, like every minute or two, just to avoid using very dry paint and ruining your brush. Next, Eshin Grey. It's the edge highlight for the black. And it's the same thing as with the green. Just try to hit all of the edges of the black. And again, you don't have to do this. I don't usually edge highlight black for my tabletop standard, but if you want to do it for a more important figure on your army, you can do it. Just try to be very neat. Here I'm not doing a very good job on the blade, but later on you can clean up with the black and push back the edge highlight to the edge. Next, Dawnstone is the second edge highlight for the black, and this is just used on the very tips of the hair, on the bottom parts, or places that you think would catch more light, like the very top and the very edges on the bottom that are like at an angle. Next, I'm using Yriel Yellow to clean up all of the yellow areas. I'm just going to pick up all of the edges of the yellow parts, and on the hair I'm trying to leave the recesses on the shaded color, and just with the edge of the brush, just picking up the places that are risen from the hair. And this will require at least 2 coats to make it really pop again. And I'm using it on all of the details around the model that are supposed to be yellow. Use the side of the brush as much as you can, and you're good. It's not very difficult. Next, Gorthor Brown is going to be used to highlight all of the brown areas. Still using the fine detail brush. After that, I'm going to use Ironbreaker. Ironbreaker is going to be used to highlight the silver areas, but it's not very many, so just the edges of the blade, as you can see. Next, I'm using Gehena's gold. It's going to be used to highlight all of the gold areas, just to bring them back, because the wash really dulls down everything. So just to pick up try to pick up the edges and places that you see that light would hit. Next, I'm going to start bringing back the gemstones or jewels. I'm using Evil Sun Scarlet to paint about 20% of the bottom half of each of the gemstones or soul stones or spirit stones, and also the half front part of the lens on the helmet. Next, Wild Rider Red is just going to be used to give a little hint of a glow on the very bottom part on all of the gemstones and on the very front part of the lens of the helmet. And to finish it off, I'm going to use White Scar to give a little reflection of light on the very top of all of the gemstones around the model and the back part of the lenses of the eye on the helmet. And this is the finished miniature. I had some trouble with this miniature because it's fine cast and some of the details are a bit weird and warped. To be honest, I prefer to work with metal miniatures at the moment, but anyway, I believe this miniature turned out to look pretty good. The bright green and yellow really makes it stand out on the tabletop, and it wasn't too hard to paint. I hope you liked the video and that you found it informative and helpful for your Eldar army. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Remember that you can find me on Facebook, and if you'd like to further support my channel, stay after the video to learn how. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.
You stayed. Great. Thank you very much for watching my video, and if you would like to further support my channel, you can become my Patreon on Patreon. You can pledge as little as $1 a month, and you are helping me create more and better content. If you can't, that's fine, because you're helping my channel a lot just for watching and sharing, but you can read all of the details if you follow the link in the description below. I hope you can spare $1 to make this hobby of mine a job for which I can get paid. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.